Live from your local election headquarters at the 22 News Broadcast Center. This is a forum for the Office of Attorney General. And now, here's Rich Teddemer.
Good afternoon and welcome to a special Your Local Election Headquarters presentation. This election season, 22 News is working for you, hosting a series of debates and forums to help you make informed decisions on Election Day. Today, we are hosting Jay McMahon. He is the Republican candidate for State Attorney General. We invited his Democratic opponent, Andrea Campbell, to participate in a debate, but Campaign Communications Director Molly McGlynn said that due to a few schedule conflicts, we are unable to make a debate work before Election Day. But Jay McMahon is here today. Jay, we appreciate you joining us. Thanks very much. You have 1 minute to make an opening statement.
Well, thank you, Rich. It's good to be here with you. For your viewers, I'm Jay McMahon. I'm running for Attorney General. I'm married. I'm the father of 5. I'm former military, former law enforcement. I've been a trial lawyer for 35 years, practicing in just about every level of court in Massachusetts, both federal and state. I've been before boards and commissions, both all federal, state, and municipal. I've been out in Western Massachusetts a lot because I know there's plenty of more Massachusetts west of 495, and that's why I come out here. But I got a heart for Western Massachusetts, and so it's good to be here, and it's good to be able to be in front of your viewers and to have you ask some of the hard questions, and you're going to get answers from me.
And here come those hard questions. You have 1 minute to answer each question, Jay. Okay. Here comes the first one. If elected as State Attorney General, you will be Massachusetts' top prosecutor. There's been a movement in recent years towards reforming the way prosecutors pursue cases. For instance, former Suffolk County DA and now U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins has stop prosecuting certain crimes such as disorderly conduct, shoplifting, and drug possession. While in the AG's office doesn't typically get involved in low-level criminal prosecution, are you supportive of these kinds of reform efforts in general?
Absolutely not. They're called quality of life crimes. This isn't the first time. We've seen this before at least in the Northeast. When David Dinkins was mayor of New York, downtown New York City actually became deserted because of the overwhelming amount of quality of life crimes. What I'd rather see is that we prosecute these quality of life crimes, that we protect our merchants so that our downtowns are stable, that public safety is stable so people can go there and enjoy downtown areas. Boston had a trouble under Rachel Rollins. Some people say, well, there was no reports of these kind of crimes, these quality of life crimes. If you discourage the police from making certain arrests, then there's no statistics for those crimes. I will see to it that quality of life crimes are prosecuted so that we have peace and security in our downtowns.
Okay, question number 2. New York State instituted a bail reform law in 2019 that got rid of cash bail for most crimes. Here in Massachusetts, Berkshire County DA Andrea Harrington also eliminated cash bail for most crimes. On the other hand, Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno has frequently complained about judges releasing suspects on low bail. Where do you stand on this issue of cash bail? Should or shouldn't it be eliminated for all but the most serious of crimes?
I know Dominic, and I stand with him on that. I can tell you this. The people of Berkshire County threw Andrea Harrington out of office just because of that reason, because downtown crime in Pittsfield was going through the roof. And they had to do something about it. The people acted. She's no longer, or will no longer be, the district attorney there. It's the same thing around the country, folks. You look at Chicago, you look at San Francisco, you look at LA, you look at New York City. We don't want to put criminals back out on the street. We got to understand that there is an evil segment in our society, and the jobs of law enforcement and prosecutors are to take those people away from the good people and keep them behind bars. And bail is one of the ways that we make sure that people show up for their trials.
Okay, Jay. Question number 3. The Supreme Court decision in the Dobbs case allowed states to ban abortion, but Massachusetts recently passed the Roe Act, which affirms and strengthens abortion rights. The state has also made further moves to protect women who come to Massachusetts from other states to get an abortion. Do you support these changes? And if so, would you take further action as Attorney General to advocate for reproductive rights?
When I become the Attorney General, I'm going to do something a little different that other Attorney Generals didn't do. I'm going to take the oath of office, and in it, I'm going to swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States and the laws thereunder, Constitution to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Constitution and the laws thereunder. Meaning, I'm going to enforce the laws and civil rights as they are. Right now, abortion is enshrined in the state constitution. Doesn't make any difference what happens in the federal government. Right now, Massachusetts, a woman has a right to choose. That is enshrined in the Constitution. My job is to uphold those rights, not only that one, but all the other constitutional rights for all our citizens. And I will do that as the Attorney General. Now, I know my opponent is making that an issue, like somehow civil rights and abortion is no longer allowed in Massachusetts. Not so, and it will still remain as long as I'm the Attorney General, and that's the law. If people want to change it, they have to lobby the state legislature to change that law.
The Boston Globe reports that current Attorney General Maura Healey had sued the Trump administration nearly 100 times when the former president was in office on issues ranging from contraception coverage to environmental protection. This was often done in cooperation with other state attorneys general. Do you approve of these lawsuits?
I don't approve of frivolous, harassing political lawsuits, and that is pretty much what Maura Healey did. And every suit that she initiated, she lost. Now, I know that there was some would say, oh no, she won some of the lawsuits. The ones that she won were the ones that she joined on with other state attorney generals. Her basic approach was to harass the federal government at that time. I am not going to be a attorney general with a political agenda. Basically, what I'm going to do is uphold your rights, the Constitution, and the rights that each one of us as American citizens have. Now, you might say, what does that mean? That means in some cases, I'll be standing with the individual against the government, because our civil rights are our individual rights against the government and not the other way around. So I'll be standing up for you.
Immigration remains a contentious topic, and Massachusetts recently became the focal point of that debate when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis arranged for a group of migrants to be flown to Martha's Vineyard. Some civil rights groups have called on the AG's office to launch a criminal investigation into that situation. As Attorney General, is that something that you would do?
Okay, first of all, we all know that was a political stunt by Ron DeSantis. He's trying to get the northern states, apparently the blue states, if you will, to take notice of the problems that they're having down on the southern border. Now, I know a little bit about this immigration issue because they first came to Martha's Vineyard. I stated they won't be there more than 48 hours, and they weren't, because the people on Martha's Vineyard quickly had them taken off that island, and they brought them into my hometown, onto Joint Base Cape Cod. I didn't protest against them being there because I know they're being used as political pawns. Basically, they would have gotten up here no matter whether they got a free ride or they just wound up coming up like they would anyway, because Massachusetts is becoming a magnet with some of the free stuff that we give illegal immigrants. And so I'm not going to sue anybody except maybe the Biden administration for having a porous border and we not knowing who these people are that come across the border.
As Attorney General, one of your jobs is to be an advocate for our state's consumers. If you are elected, what would you do to protect Massachusetts residents from fraud and shady business practices?
There's a lot of that. That's one of my top priorities, especially with the elderly. A lot of elderly are getting scammed, computer scams, credit card scams. What I want to do is focus hard on that, just like I'm going to focus on the opioid crisis. I mean, I've visited Mass and Cass in Boston, which they used to call the methadone mile, but now because it's gotten more than a mile long, I'm paying more attention to it. They changed the name from methadone mild to mass and cas. Basically, it's people who are hopelessly hooked on opiates, and they're dying by the droves. And it is, to me, it's where Beacon Hill and City Hall in Boston have raised the white flag and say, we can't, we have no solution for this. I have a 3-point plan for the opiate problems. It goes like this: effective rehabilitation. Government rehabilitation right now is 99% failure, but private pay programs are 85% success rate. So I want to investigate the government programs and find out why they're not at the same standard as the private pay programs. If we can start effective rehabilitation and then work hard on going after these drug trafficking thugs, which the elites on Beacon Hill, they're not doing that. And the reason they're not doing that is because they think Massachusetts is already a sanctuary state. I will go after drugs, drug trafficking thugs, and I will prosecute them hard so that they will stay out of Massachusetts from applying their trade.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Climate change is one of the major challenges the world faces, and the Attorney General's office is responsible for advocating for the state and its people in environmental matters. If you're elected Attorney General, how much do you plan on using the power of your office to enforce the state's environmental laws and fight climate change? You have 30 seconds.
Okay, basically it goes like this. I want, like any other generation, I want our generation to leave the planet in a better place than it's been. I will enforce Clean Water Act, the clean waters in Massachusetts, our rivers, our ponds, our sea coasts. I live on the sea coast, and so I want to make sure that those stay clean and pristine. I want the air to be clean, obviously. I've been active in dealing with not only pollution and polluters in Massachusetts and even in my own hometown, but I've also encouraged green businesses to come in. I was on the Bourne Financial Development Corporation. We need more green businesses and encourage them to come to Massachusetts.
All right, Jay. Jay, thank you very much. Jay McMahon, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you to Jay McMahon for participating. If you missed any of this forum, you can watch it again in its entirety on wwlp.com. Election Day is Tuesday, November 8th, but mail-in voting and in-person early voting is going on right now. Be sure to make your voice heard. I'm Rich Teddemer. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you for watching 22 News, your local election headquarters. Stay with us now through Election Day for the information you need to know in order to cast your ballot. 22 News is working for you.